You know,
What's going on, man?
I'm a little
Frank Starfire.
nice to meet you.
And, I'm a simple guy, and I live my life by really simple means, you know what I mean? And, I live by simple mottos and credos and phrases and everything, because it works for me, you know what I mean? Lately, I've adopted a new...
Hey, what's going on? Okay. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Frank Starfire, and this here is the Just to Be Frank podcast. I want to thank you ever so much for joining me. Today, I have a young talent I found through social media, through Instagram. The man goes by TyRaNt, as mama called him, Trevor. But for all intents and purposes, recording artist and father, TyRaNt, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me, brother.
What's good?
You know, it's like I was telling you before we started, you know, it's interesting to me, like I was listening to your sound, like you said, we found each other through Instagram, and you know, I think you just sent a blast out and I was caught up in it, but you know, there's one thing I'm always keen to is to try and help a young brother get some exposure, and you know, I ain't gonna sit here and act like I got the largest podcast on planet Earth.
No, but you're known. You're known.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I got 101 motherfuckers that are listening to this crazy shit. So thanks, y'all. Appreciate you. I do. But you know, it's a very interesting thing. And you know, he's a single dad, so he got the baby with him tonight, you know what I'm saying, on the show. So you know,
it's at work. My wife's at work.
Oh, his wife, I'm sorry, he's not a single dad. His wife
it's all good. So kill
he don't want no smoke. Smart man, you don't want no smoke.
Hey, so come right through the door
right now.
Still come right through the door right now.
She gonna teleport in. You see her walk up through the door.
Right
What's
there,
your name?
Hey, nothing.
You're gonna get a call later, like, I heard you said something, but the video won't come out till next week. How you hear this? What you talking about?
Dude, she's got evidence.
Listen, man. Happy wife, happy life is true, man. That shit is really true. But you know, it's interesting as a recording artist nowadays. And how old are you?
23.
23. So 23 years old.
Birthday's in 19 days.
Huh?
My birthday's in 19 days.
I don't math well. What is that?
November 23rd.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, congrats, man. Happy birthday to you.
Shit,
thank you, man. You're in good company. I got a friend who's the 29th. My mom's was the 14th. Two of my best friends are 6th. So,
let's go.
Man, you know, listen, they flow in succession. Apparently, days happen every day. But no, you know, you're a recording artist. You obviously take time to do the family thing. What's the balance like? As because you know, as a recording artist who's trying to get his imprint in the world and trying to make, you know, come up in it, what's the balance like?
It's honestly it's hard at sometimes. You know, you gotta really like put a priority first, which obviously is my family. So that comes first, and then music. So like I'm always on the go. And music's always with me. So the power of, you know, Apple and all that, you download something on your Mac, it's straight to my phone. So I download a beat or I buy a beat, I download it, ep3 is right here on my phone. So if I got to go somewhere with the family, you know, I can listen to that beat, I can write because I write everything right here. Technology these days, you know, used to be pen and paper growing up.
Back in my day, that's what I did. Pen and paper, baby. Word up. Pen and pad, composition notebook.
I think I switched to my phone. Maybe like.
I'm show you some funny shit. Hold on. A composition notebook.
There it is. Yeah, bro.
Power of the composition notebook. Let me tell you, it has everything you need and timetables in the back. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah, you gotta like list instructions, man.
You're all right. But it's interesting.
But also, like, I take music on the go wherever I go, pretty much. Or you know, if I'm here, if we're just chilling, I gotta be like in the mood, you know, to write. But I'm always in the mood to write. But like if I'm feeling like, okay, I gotta get this song done or I gotta get this verse done, like I'll push myself. But then, you know, I'll write a couple lines or whatever. And then when I'm done, see how the family's doing, and then we go from there. Pretty much, you know.
You're in Northwest Ohio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't imagine there's a lot of freestyle ciphers going on the corners.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's all Cleveland, Columbus area. That's all down.
What was your, because like I said, you're 23, so technology for you has been part of your life pretty much since you were born. Like you've always had the internet, you've always had and kind of like just as you came of age, really, you got smartphones and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like me, like I said, I used to write pen and paper. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, it's vastly different. How much easier do you think that makes it for you? Because I ain't gonna lie, back in my days trying to do it, it was fucking difficult.
I'd probably be using about 3 pages, 4 pages per song. It just depends if I'm doing a pop song, if it's going to be easy with the choruses, or if it's going to be a rap song where I'm nothing but choruses or no choruses, excuse me. It's just layers of bars and stuff. So it's honestly a lot better. As I'm listening to the music, I do notice that you have this
very unique style in that it's you have this idea that you want to be lyrical. But then you have the trap elements to it, which is not normal. And that's what intrigued me about the sound, because for me, like I said, I'm from Hollis, Queens, so lyricism is very important to me. You know what I'm saying? And you seem to take that part of it very seriously.
Yeah.
What are your hip hop influences?
Man, I have a lot of influences, you know, growing up. Honestly, growing up, I was around, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, but around a bunch of, you know, white people. When I went to school, there wasn't, there wasn't a lot of black people, man. There wasn't a lot of black people. So I fit in with other people a little bit. You know, I tried basing what I was listening to off of their energy. Look at me now, bro. But I grew up listening to country, like hardcore, like Tim McGraw, like Carrie Underwood. You know, you had them. My dad, old country,
Faith Hill, Natasha Bedingfield, Reba McEntire.
I watched your show.
Fucking Parton. Yeah,
I watched your show every night, bro. Yeah. Every night.
And again, I'm from Queens, New York, man. Music transcends, baby. It's just all in how you
once I hit middle school, I was a metalhead. My cousin Jet put me on like all types of music, bro. I swear.
I like Jet. I swear, I like Jet.
I went from country with horses to when I went to middle school, it was wearing black all the time. Not death metal, but it was metal.
Yeah, I remember the years. I remember those.
Going over the Bullet for My Valentine, Korn, you know, Simple, and then my first rap song that he ever showed me was on the radio. It was "Low" by Fluoride. Okay. That's what got me to switch, bro. I was like, man, this is nice. I was like, what is this, bro? Like,
I could not have told you one Fluoride record, so there you go.
Yeah, dude. So
the damnedest place you get inspired in the damnedest ways.
Right, dude. I just from that, like I just looked deep into it. So probably, you know, obviously growing up, you had the Drake, Eminem, Lil Wayne, those 3. You got Kanye, you know, Jay-Z. You had those like 5 right there in the industry, and then you had the backups like J. Cole, you know, Kendrick, West Side, you know, Kendrick, Snoop Dogg.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you 5 essential hip hop albums that you have to listen to, and it'll all make sense a lot more. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you 5. All right. Nas, Illmatic.
Yeah. Nas is hard.
Nas is hard. DMX, It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Okay. NWA, Straight Outta Compton.
Yo.
and The Game, the documentary.
Okay.
All right, and I'll give you two more.
The Game was big. I don't know why I didn't think of that. The Game was huge.
Listen,
the Game was huge. Like his
still going, man. But I'll give you three more just for courtesy. Tupac, Me Against the World. Biggie, Ready to Die.
Yep.
And The Lox, We Are the Streets.
The Lox?
The Lox.
Okay. I'll have to look that one up. That one don't butcher me. I don't know that one.
No, listen, that's fine. But those are listen, you know what? I'm just gonna email you a list.
Okay, I like that.
I'm gonna email you a list. And you know what's fucked up? Avril Lavigne is gonna be on that list.
Oh shit. Hey, Avril Lavigne,
I love her. I'm a huge fan.
Changed it, man. Like she was doing like what no other girl was doing. Like you could go through a breakup, all that we turn on. Avril Lavigne.
Oh, you are very personal in your music. Let me tell you that. I
put everything. My whole life that's about to be in music. That's how I write.
You share. You definitely share. You're not
my whole circle is nothing but spiritual, man. Like
you do a unique, like I said, the sound you have is very unique in that it's very personal. Like you can tell that there's a lot of emotion behind what you're doing. It's a fusion of hip hop, rock, pop. Like there's a nice mellow balance. Where do you get your beats? You just find them online nowadays? Like
so back then, like SoundCloud beats, people were trying to like throw like they want to produce, they want to make beats. So like back then I would do SoundCloud beats, and then here recently I got beatstars.com. That's like the biggest like beats thing. So I've been buying beats. Like I've been like on a buying beats spree.
We'll plug them. Maybe they'll sponsor
like
us.
I got that. My homie that I went to school with, he saw like I was doing music and he wanted to like try to, make some beats, and he makes beats now. So his name's Ace. Okay. He makes like the trap beats, but they're clean. So like I'll use some of his. Other than that, it's either SoundCloud beats back then, or I'm buying beats now. So
have you tried to learn how to make them yourself?
I've done it before. Yeah, so I don't know if you know this, but there was one album I made. It was like nothing but my own beats. Like they were good, but they were mostly like repeating loops. So like I remember sat down and like done the 808, the kick, the snare.
Right.
I just like writing, so I write all the time, and writing and family, and I'm a gamer sometimes. So gaming, like it's hard making a beat, but like when I do, like I really sit down, I take time, and I love it. I love making beats. Like when I do it.
It's what I never developed the talent for it, but it is. But from the people I know, like one of my brothers, he's an audio engineer, and I've watched him work tirelessly on like one song 3 years.
Yeah, it's literally hard. Yeah.
Or he was ready to, and I will say, if I had to call anybody a master at the craft, I know he's one. You know what I'm saying? So, I recognize that there is definitely a very ill skill and talent involved in that. For me, I always preferred to write.
Right. That's how I am.
And I'm lying because I preferred freestyle.
I haven't growing up. I was just more of like a writing. Like I don't really think of stuff off my head unless I'm writing it down personally. Like I've been to shows. I've done shows where it's like competition. Like the best person wins. Some you got to freestyle and that's how you win. So like I can't say like I've been up there in that situation. So like I don't really know, but I've seen people, and there's just insane like freestyles out there. Like they can just go off the dome right now. Like
I will tell you. Well, I'll tell you at least my secret to it. How I learned how to do it. Honestly, I read all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm reading the newspaper. I'm reading novels. I'm reading kids' books. I'm reading fucking porn. I'm reading. It doesn't matter. I'm reading. Right. I'm reading. I'm learning new words. I'm pulling new criteria, new ideas out of everything that I'm reading. I'm observing everything. I'm observing people. So when I'm using those metaphors and they're just coming, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that was my secret. Like, for me personally, I enjoyed reading when I grew up. So it's like being able to pull references for metaphors and bars and shit is like, you read that R.L. Stein book too? Oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, it's like, it was all, that was my dynamic for it. I read all the time. If that's exactly what it takes to win a competition, start doing it.
Yeah, then you do it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, there's nothing like, especially with the craft that you're doing, words are going to be your weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you wield them wisely, they'll work for you all the time. You know what I'm saying? And your mind, of course, is like the strongest weapon you have. But you got to exercise it. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I sound like an old fogey teaching it. I'm sorry.
Nah, hey, I mean, it can help. There's some times where it's like, as artists, like especially me growing up, I'll rap about this, and then when I get tired of rapping that, I can't think about anything. People have writer's block, so reading, like checking out different scenarios and everything, that could brainstorm, the next part for an album or something. So you never know.
If you ever go back and look at old Busta Rhymes videos, they always were very thematic and cinematic. They always had like this ill storyline going on.
Yeah.
Though that was a big part of it. Now, is there such an onus nowadays on music videos and shit like that?
Not really. I don't know. You watch music videos like growing up, obviously the changing, like the movement of music videos, it's insane, like what it is today. Like there's so much like technology. If you look like behind the scenes and everything, there's so much technology nowadays that they do for a music video, and that's your job. Like you really gotta like be smart and like crack down, and it takes years to be like really good at making a music video. Like we'll talk about Ludacris music videos. Those are like what it was back then, like a Travis Scott music video now, or whoever, like Eminem. Like it's crazy. Like what it is now. What's up?
And I remember when motherfuckers was just dancing on the rooftops of buildings.
Yeah, man. Like Chris Brown shit, bro. Like be out there just like in the street, just
doing it.
Yeah, and it's like, man.
It's interesting. And as I always say, the eras of music have definitely evolved, but they've flown one to the other. And luckily, you still have these influences of hip hop elder gods that are showing the younger ones how to do. Do you pay attention to what's going on in the realm of hip hop and everything? Like, do you keep abreast of it, or are you isolated enough out in Ohio that you're like, I don't give a fuck, I'm just making money?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of both, really. I'll like stay up to date, I guess, with most of the hip hop game, because like if somebody's dropping this, and you gotta as an artist gotta be looked into, like, okay, so this is what they're doing. You don't want to sound like them, you want to do your own stuff. But if I'm in album mode, like I'll try to just stay like pretty much quarantined. Like I'm making an album, this is what I'm doing. Like, okay, I might check out this album, all right, not spend a lot of time on it. I'm doing this album, my album. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of like both, really. You gotta just like still make your own stuff.
Is it more difficult nowadays because there's so many people?
Oh yeah,
to get
Yeah, there's a lot of competition. Yeah. A lot of competition back, like we just said, you had Kanye, Drake. He was doing the singing Drake stuff. Like nobody sounded like Drake. Eminem was up there, Snoop Dogg. You had Dre producing Eminem stuff. So like that was like the most thing. And then the West Side, they were going crazy, but now you got trap, rap, like you got different styles,
Right.
and it's hard to like for you to find your own sound when you have all these different people like catching in to like other different rap styles and stuff.
Yeah. And you know, I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of it I don't like.
Because there's a lot.
Because there's a lot that's just like, I don't know, there's a lot of that drug culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, with the deaths of Pop Smoke and Extension and all.
Juice WRLD, that was crazy.
WRLD and
that one kind of messed me up because like I listened to Juice WRLD when he passed, but like I didn't listen. Like I wasn't like fan after fan, like watching his post, watching when he was gonna post until like after he passed. But like if you think about it, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, he was the same way. It made me realize
Mac Miller, you know.
Yeah, Mac Miller too. Like their music, like what they were going through was in the music. Nobody was paying attention because they made good music.
Right.
You know, you can hear Juice talking about drugs, you know, alcohol, addiction, but like that's what became a good music. That's why we liked it. We didn't know like he was truly in trouble, in deep. Same with Chester. Like listen to Linkin Park songs, it's hard because like you know like what happened, and it's like
but if you
like
listen, you can hear that man crying out for pain. You know, and pain is just
Mac Miller, Juice, same way.
Right.
Like,
see, we equate success with being okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I've had to learn over time. Your generation kind of got it because of these people that you are following. Like you can follow these people. They're on Instagram. They're on, like back in the days, we didn't have social media where I could be like, yo, at Snoop Dogg, where's your fuck? You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to Cali. Yo, we can smoke a joint together. Like we didn't have that. Like you know, we saw them. Yeah, we saw them in magazines. We saw them at the award shows, on, you know, music videos, on Rap City and all this type of thing. But we didn't have access to them. Right now, I can pull out my phone and be like, yo, Cardi B, what do you think about da? And she'll probably respond. Like, unfettered access to these people. And yet, nobody's reaching out to them and to say, hey, yo, you all right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You okay? You good?
Mm-hmm.
Is how big is it that we support mental health in this genre, in music in general, but I guess in entertainment?
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing for real. Because like if you see somebody that makes good music but they're hurting behind, like that's just like that's like a red flag right there. Like yes, they make good music, but like let's help them so they can still make that good music. But like me, like I made the biggest song, Pain, my biggest song. That song, like that song, it's something we deal with every single day. Like you can tell my homie Hades, he was talking about, you know, drugs and stuff, and that I was talking about like that, but in a way that we would want pain to go away.
Right.
And for somebody to sit there and like hear it or like hear any other song, but know that the person is hurting, but like not help them, like, that's kind of like, to me, that would bring something in my soul. Like, man, I could have helped change that person. I could have helped done this or that, you know, so that would hurt me. So I think mental, like the health and everybody, when it comes to that situation, like we should always like have their back.
You know, it's funny, like when I was growing up, nobody talked about mental health.
Yeah.
All they ever told us was, oh, you need to go to church. You need Jesus.
Yeah, you need to go to church. You need to talk to somebody. Like
but they never suggested therapy because they were like, you don't put all our business in the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you grew up in Ohio. I don't know if your family did that.
Oh yeah. I was in and out of therapy at like young age, man, like 10 to 13, 9 to 13. Yeah, it was hard. It was weird, man, because you're just like trying to express your feelings. It's like weird. Like I don't want my family to know how I'm feeling. Like they don't need to like.
shouldn't your family be the ones that
exactly
you
they
should be able
should
to turn to?
They should. I was in a situation where I was just like, let me be me, but I'm like, how do I get help? Like, should I talk to this therapist or should I not? Because my family is forcing me to do this. So I was like, what ways do I want to go with this? But like, you turn to friends. Sometimes friends can help if you're in a bad spot. But in all reality, I think therapy would have helped. We didn't have like a lot of sessions with therapy, but I think that could help. Or sitting down with your family. Family's there for a reason. That's the biggest, like that's the biggest one.
Yeah, sometimes family is the cause of the problem.
It is true, yeah.
And it's hard, and sometimes it's hard to say what's on your mind to family because you don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not recognizing that perhaps what you need to say is exactly what they need to hear. It's a weird quagmire of a balance.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
You don't.
What do you find that you don't do drugs? You're not doing lean and any of that dumb shit.
Yeah. No.
Do you find that people who are artists tend to be more, I guess, into that culture, into drug culture? Is it something that you've seen in your experience? I mean, you're 23, so
yeah.
But coming from where you're from, it's a vastly different experience than what I grew up.
Yeah. It's everywhere, man. It is everywhere. And this little town I live in too. You'll see posts on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Sometimes there's some like people out there that's tweaking, and it's just bad, man. Like, it's just bad. I've had a lot of people from where I went to school. They're like overdosing on laced, like laced weed or laced stuff that's in a cookie, bro. Like laced, like fentanyl shit. And it's
fucking putting fentanyl in weeds.
Yeah, bro. Like, why would you want to? Yeah, man. Like, it's an herb. Like, you're supposed to smoke it to heal yourself. But like, when it comes to that, people want to sell. They want to, they're into it deep. So it's
got
hard.
the dopest shit.
Yeah.
You're just killing your client. You can't make money if you kill your clientele.
It's
hustling 101.
Yeah, that's they don't think about that at the time. And that's like the biggest part, I think, around the world is drugs, especially around here too. Lace stuff hard.
Well, honestly, I grew up in the crack epidemic, so for me, I remember seeing Just Say No commercials, which is bullshit. And I also remember fucking Nancy Reagan driving a fucking tank through the hood. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my thing is, when it was in the inner cities in the hood, people got arrested. They were sent to prison. They won't. When it's now reaching the suburbs and it's getting everybody else, now it's a health crisis and they need support. Is that something that your generation is going to try and fight back against, I guess? Or I'm not going to ask you to speak for your whole generation, obviously.
Right.
You seem to be somebody who's very against drugs in that way.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it would be better if maybe they perhaps legalized it so that it would be less easy or less profitable to actually lace it with something where you could actually bring in,
Yeah, it's here for a reason. Like, it's not like a terrible thing. Like, when people growing up made it seem like it was like such the worst thing ever. But like, think about it, like, it's not really bad. Like, why is it bad? Like, can you die on marijuana?
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, all drugs. Like, my thing is, if you're gonna do cocaine, if you get actual cocaine and you learn, if you learn how to cultivate it yourself and process it and all that, and you don't have to have it laced with something to, you know what I'm saying? Or a cartel doesn't have to bring it in. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I think I think we should just stick with, like the stuff that can heal. So like help and not hurt. Yeah. I literally just thought of that. But
I'm not mad. So we like, shrooms.
Think about it, help, the marijuana, and like I don't even think like any of like the pills really like prescribed pills. Like people can get hooked on that and it can still hurt you. So like the only thing I've done really was smoke. Like I'll say that proudly. Like I've smoked marijuana. Like other than that, like I saw how I am with that. I don't want to do like any other like extreme exotic drug, but that's where the addiction starts,
It's funny. I've smoked. I had consumed cannabis since I was 15 years old. Okay? And now to see that they're, making, especially in fact, I don't live in New York anymore. Now it's all recreationally legal. That shit just pissed me off. But I'm like, yeah, but I've seen the shift in it, and I'm thankful for that. I would like to see it expanded more. I'd love to see it federally legalized, you know what I'm saying, or decriminalized. Like, I also want them to, like, I know they're doing research with MDMA. I know they're doing research with shrooms and DMT and LSD and all that. And those are good. Like, I think psychedelics are a good thing because I think expanding one's consciousness isn't always a bad thing. And I think that if it's done correctly, and safely and in a way, and what you're doing, and I say go for it. But I would never tell somebody, hey, go snort this coke.
Yeah, no.
Smoke some meth. Go ahead, have at it. Let's do this heroin. You know what I mean?
I'm against the hurt, like the ones that can hurt you. Obviously kill you. So I'm against all that. I'm with the heroin, all the saying like that, because obviously heroin kills. Like fentanyl, now that's the biggest one that's coming in.
That is the biggest thing. And the funny thing about fentanyl is now I used to do health insurance, and I remember that customers would call or members would call to get their, because they had run out of fentanyl patches and they needed their fentanyl. It was, I didn't realize how bad it was. But then I started doing the math on it to a degree. It was like, all right, you hook these people on these opioids, and you only give them a certain amount. Once they lose that amount, or they sell it, or they smoke it, they do whatever they're doing with it, they can't get more. What's the next easiest thing to do? Get a pack of that shit from the local homie and give it to, and take that shit instead. It's the same drug.
Yeah.
It's madness.
It's literally, like I said, like all over like our like spot that we're in now, like lace stuff. Oh, you want to say hi? Oh, sorry. But there was the what? There was for Halloween, there was just a biggest part in the city. It had, so like, let's say this Crunch Bar, this Crunch Bar here, they had it in the wrapping, but what was it? I think it was a Kit Kat or something. It had like a metal piece like sticking out like that much. So obviously, you got to check your candy, especially nowadays. You check your candy, it was sticking out by that much. Yeah. Me, like if I would have saw it, I wouldn't have seen it. Like if I would have had that piece, just open it up, take a bite, the result, obviously would have been bad. But yeah, it was literally like inside the candy, bro, and it was like sticking out. And then they wrapped it, and then it was like sticking out like that much. Yeah, bro. I was just like, man, you really can't trust anybody these days, because now it's in your candy. Like what?
The only thing I know for sure is nobody in the free world is giving away their edibles for free to anybody. Like, we're not just dropping our gummy bears in your joint like, yeah, try that, kid. No, we're not doing that.
I don't even know what it was. Like maybe like a needle or something, or like a nail or something. But like, you it's just scary these days, bro. Like even now, like you don't think what you would have to check, you would have to check, gotta check candy on Halloween.
We always were told to check your candy on Halloween, but
yeah.
It's funny because, like I said, I grew up in the city, so Halloween, I guess, is very different depending on where you are. Like, we
Want a shirt on?
we definitely we definitely did have to check our candy, but we pretty much knew everybody in the neighborhood type, and we didn't have the same issues, the same problems that are plaguing people these days.
Right.
How did y'all fare during this pandemic with everything?
You said during the pandemic?
Yeah, how did y'all fare in it as far as just getting through it,
Oh, shoot, every day they push like, vaccines, this, or like wear a mask, or but when it first hit, it was just like everything was just right there in our face. Like we heard about it obviously from overseas, but when it came to like, okay, it's in the US now, like it just affected everybody's lives. Like pretty much instead of like a land for the free, like what it's supposed to be, it's like, now I wouldn't say like a dictatorship, but that's how people are looking at it like today, so like our lives changed dramatically. Like we were like in a chiller state, I guess, but then now it's just like everything's moving rapid, and then like what's up,
and then shut down.
Yeah, and shut down. The shutdown was like the longest thing. It was, I think that's what drove people crazy.
From what bugged me out about it, honestly, was just, okay, so local mom and pop shops couldn't stay open, but Walmart could. That irked me. Like, people have lost businesses because of politics. Like, people like, in all honesty, affairs, it's not at a point where we're doing where I think anybody's doing what's right. It's do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell anybody, I am not vaccinated. I was going to do it, but was talked out of it. But for me, it never made sense to get it because I eat fairly healthy. I go to the gym, I exercise, I try and keep myself as healthy as humanly possible. Now, obviously, I'm human, and coronavirus has been around forever. What I do know for sure, though, is that this definitely did come from a lab. For some reason, Fauci and his whole ilk and everybody has something to do with it.
Yeah.
And instead of actually doing things that make sense, we're playing this game where this party's trying to one up this party, while this party's trying to one up this party, and everybody's losing. We the people are losing.
Yeah.
It's really, I don't understand it. Like, and I don't know how we've gotten to this point.
It turned fast, bro. It turned real fast, real quick. Like it got deep, it got dark. Like there's just nowadays people, I don't even know, they probably don't even want to live, is because it's just like in a different like living situation. Like we're still in America, but like what is happening now is just, I think it's turning everything crazy. That's why like crime rate and everything's going up, man.
Everything's going up.
Yeah, people leasing shit, like they gotta get the highest buy,
It's interesting because when you hear people talk about defund the police, and I think that's just stupid. But what I do think, because I don't want to live in a world where there's no order, but what I don't want is police departments to have tanks and riot gear when that's not needed. You know what I'm saying? So that I get. But if you're talking, but I also believe in community policing, where the people in the community should be the police officers. You know what I'm saying? So that, because the truth is, I'm much less likely to pull my service weapon on you if I know your mother. You know what I'm saying? Like if I know your moms, if I know your sister, your pops, if I know these people, and I know that if I just talk to you, you're gonna stop doing whatever dumb shit you're doing because I know your fucking mother, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I've also realized that I'm somewhat of an idealist, and that's naivety. It is what it is. It's me wanting to live in a world where nobody has to lose their life over something stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
yeah, that's obvious.
You would think it's obvious, and yet,
yeah,
you know, I don't know if you've been keeping track. The Kenosha shooter, the kid Kyle Rittenhouse, his trial is underway, and of course there is only one black juror on the entire jury. You know what I'm saying? So you know, he allegedly murdered 2 protesters and injured another, and yet during a racially charged shooting, and yet you put one person of color on that. Is that something that you worry about in your area? Or I don't know. Like, is that something that
I worry about it like while my kids growing up, you know, like looking at like how it is, excuse me, how it is now, and then like how's it going to be for when he grows up. Obviously, his skin isn't dark, but on the inside, he's colored. So, like, how is it going to be when he grows up? And that's what I worry about in today's life. Like, obviously, we want to see tomorrow, but with the world it is today, you never know. So, like, I want to leave a legacy for him to say, like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. This is what we're getting into. This is how you got to protect yourself, your mom, and, like, everything around, pretty much.
I think everybody needs to learn martial arts.
Shit, dude, they should.
I think they should. I think everybody needs to learn martial arts and learn how to meditate. And
meditation. Meditate.
They need to legalize pot, and you know, just everybody needs to sip some whiskey and just chill.
I just think like Kyle, like if you look at the video and everything, like why does he have that big ass gun out in public, bro? How do you even get a big ass gun like that? Why do you need a gun like that? I don't need a sniper just chilling in my house right now. Maybe if I know it's gonna be the apocalypse, like, well, yeah, but like
that, that's acceptable. But if I'm just, I mean, hey, if I'm gonna use it to hunt and I'm hunting for food, fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm using like this rifle to hunt for food.
Yeah. I've had many talks about that, you know, people around here, and that's just like the biggest part of America too. Like, oh, don't take my guns, or guns should be taken because, you know, this and that. Look at all the crimes, you know, but then crime will still be a thing if you take away the guns. So it's like, I don't think it should be taken away, but I don't really listen to Tom McDonald. That's his name. He's an underground rapper. He's
the white dude.
Yeah. So
I like Tom. I like him. I like his shit.
I caught in a song. I caught a song, and he said it's easier to get a gun than it is to get a job. And I like that. That set with me. That set deeply. I like thought about it. I'm like, did some research, and like it is hard to get a job. You got to go through all of this, you know, background, you know, all this
job. Yeah.
But
I mean,
then
look, the truth is, he's speaking hyperbole, but he's not wrong in that I can, like, you know, if you're not a felon, you can walk into pretty much anywhere. And now, again, I grew up in Queens, New York, where in the 5 boroughs, we were not allowed to have guns. Now, I mean, the laws are written in such a way where nobody in the 5 boroughs can pretty much obtain a fucking firearm. But if you go over the border to Long Island or upstate New York, you have as many fucking firearms as you want. What's the difference between those two things? Well, there's a lot of freaking black people in the 5 boroughs. And yet, motherfuckers still got guns. So what does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? It tells you that, number one, gun trafficking is real. Number two, much like in Jurassic Park, life will find a way. Motherfuckers gonna find their guns.
We'll find a way.
I bought my first gun during the pandemic. And but I also recognize is that I understand now what the Second Amendment actually is for.
Yeah.
And I won't let the government come take my guns, but I am firmly of the belief government and all parts of the government should come with term limits, because Nancy Pelosi and what's the boy name? Mitch McConnell. They were both born in the 40s, which means that their ideas and ideology is way too old to be making decisions for a future that they won't be in.
Right. Right. That's like, that's like the biggest part, to even say. Yeah.
And it's fucked up. It sounds horrendous when you really think about it. Like, oh my God, is he wanting old people to? No. I just want them to understand that their time for legislating is over, and to let other people, younger people who actually have a stake in the future, make choices.
That's a nice way to put it. That's a nice way to put it. I mean, that's a nice way to put it.
We have frank discussions here on the Just to Be Frank podcast. we just be talking shit. But then to take it back to music, do you feel like you have somewhat of an obligation to speak somewhat about these things, or do you try and avoid
it? Nowadays, especially, you gotta like watch how you say it, because if you say it the wrong way,
cancel culture.
Yeah, canceled. Not even that. You'll get threats, bro. Like you'll get death threats or something. So I could say anything about Biden. People might like that. If I say something about Trump, instantly that can get me canceled, and that can give me like a death threat upon me. Like if I'm just out in public, that could be bad. So like I want to talk about that stuff, especially in like a future album. I definitely plan on the Contract Killers album. That's the group I'm in. And we're all spiritual. So I'm definitely thinking, there's going to be a song in there about today's world.
What do you mean spiritual?
What do I mean spiritual? So like what you said, meditation, and then, positivity, no negative shit. We don't like negative, but like, that's just how it is today in the world. And we want to speak about it, open up people's minds.
I always tell people it's a lot easier to be negative than it is to be positive. Positivity requires more strength of character.
Yeah, it's just like everyday life. You can get road rage, you can get ticked off about something, and like the smallest thing, that's negativity. Like meditation, that helps, open up your minds, all this, look into your soul, that helps bring into positivity.
I tell people all the time, fear is the harbinger of all negativity.
And
it's easy to control people who are afraid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is what you see right now.
Right.
This is going to be a weird question. What kind of toothpaste do you use?
The simple Colgate.
Well, my friend, I'm going to teach you something else.
Yeah.
Fluoride. Do they fluoridate the water where you are?
Probably.
Check that out. Fluoride is a neurotoxin with the same level of neurotoxicity as mercury and arsenic. Now, what it does is it calcifies. Now, you can research this. You can look in the medical journal Lancet, November 2014, I believe they published a paper on it. Fluoride calcifies your pineal gland. There's a gland right here, which is your third eye chakra right here.
Right.
What that gland does is allows the release of serotonin, or the flow of serotonin and DMT, dimethyltryptamine, which is a psychedelic drug.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you produce it in your mind. Fluoride stops the flow of that.
Okay.
So it stops you from reaching your higher cognitive abilities. So fuck Colgate, fuck Crest. There's a great brand called Hello. Tom's of Maine makes a non-fluoride toothpaste. You don't need that shit. Brush your floss. Burn it up. But that's that. that's how you get to that next level of transcendence towards, you know what I'm saying, towards that. Because once you open that third eye, it's like, oh, you start to see new things and new perspectives and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's an amazing thing. I love it.
I'm about to look at that.
But
I never do any of that.
if you tell me an artist you'd like to work with.
Like, let's say like I'm huge and I'm like big, I want to work with them.
Anybody that you right now, if you reached out and they was like, sure, let me do it.
There's so much, man. There's so much. I don't know. I'm gonna say Corday. I like Corday a lot. Especially, I could say Eminem, that's everybody's. I could say Drake. I was thinking more like Jack Harlow. I like his style a lot. But I was thinking Corday, because Corday's spiritual too, on the real. Or J. Cole. J. Cole's spiritual.
Oh, yeah.
If I want to go big, I'll go J. Cole. Like,
yeah.
But Corday, definitely, I think that one. Yeah, I really like Corday and his upcoming stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mirroring it, like seeing like his vision where he started. I wouldn't say I'm Corday or any like good as Corday, but it kind of like influences me a little bit. I got stuff right now that I'm working on that I know is going to be 10 times better than what I just dropped last year. Like I can say that because I'm evolving.
Your music, you tend to put out music like fairly frequently. It looks like you do one like every year.
Yeah, that's my goal. I do that. Sometimes, I try to sneak in a song or an album for my birthday in November, but this year I'm taking it off just because, I want to work on this. I'm dropping like this 3 little projects. It's going to be rap. It's pretty much rap. And I already know like that's going to be my next step, especially going into next year. Like this 3 songs that I'm dropping is going to be what I dropped a whole album, let's say like a year ago, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but nowadays you can do that. You know what I mean? You can kind of build the anticipation on it because everybody's their own marketing. Everybody's their own promotions. Everybody's their own, street team for the most part nowadays. You have social media. You have that ability. Are you a fan of social media? Yeah,
I don't know why, but I'm not addicted, but I love it. I love social media. I almost use that word addicted, almost. But when Facebook, Twitter and Instagram went down that one time, that sparked the whole world. Twitter. It wasn't Twitter. It was Facebook and Instagram because they're kind of like mirrored.
Owned by the same people.
Yeah, they're bought by each other. So Facebook went down, Instagram went down. Everybody was on Twitter. I used that to write. So I was working on this one song and, instead of checking Facebook, checking Instagram, because Instagram is my favorite. That's like my number one source. I love Instagram, and then Facebook and Twitter is up there. I wrote, man. But when it comes to social media, that's how you got to stay out there. That's how people find you, especially TikTok. TikTok is the biggest. That's how you get known. Like I know it's hard to say, but you can post a 30-second.
I personally feel like I am too old to be talking anybody's ticks, but apparently I'm gonna have to get a fucking TikTok and do something on it. I don't know what.
You can put this on TikTok and people will like check it out, man. I'm telling you, it's like it's crazy, but social media is the biggest, influencer on today's world.
Well, I'm starting to put it on
independent artists,
I'm starting to put it on Rumble. And other platforms besides YouTube, but I have Anchor, which is owned by Spotify. So I have Spotify, I've got Anchor, I've got Verbal, and a few others. I think I'm on Google, I'm on iTunes, and all that. So it's great, but there's millions of podcasts out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's literally millions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what I honestly like, my ultimate goal is always just to be successful. You know what I'm saying? But what does success mean?
For sure.
You know, what does success mean? Is it monetary? For me, no. It's about building something where people trust what trust what I'm talking about, trust what I say. You know, they come listen because they enjoy hearing the dumb shit that we talk about.
That's how it comes for music too, you know. Either I'm talking about like something, you know, real about today, or I'm talking about a breakup, or I'm talking about some kid's mom, you know, like I want people to come in and relate to that music and then take it home or wherever they're going and move a step forward up, not down. I want them to move that step forward and then keep going.
Keep building, keep building, keep building. What is your ultimate goal in this? Like, where do you see yourself in 10?
So like, do I want to be famous? You know, obviously that's every person's dream. They would love to be famous, you know, but like I looked at it, I was like, I don't really want to be famous like that. Like I would love to be known, but I wouldn't be like in LA and California.
Yeah, I don't want to be a celebritard.
Yeah, I would love to visit, but like I don't want like an underground type, you know, like a Russ. Like Russ isn't like huge out there, but like he is known. Like he's starting to get known now. Hobson, Token, when it comes to hip hop, those two, you know, they got their fans. So like my goal to this is just say like whenever I leave this world that, okay, he influenced me or he influenced that person. He got me through this. That's my goal in all of this. So they take my word, they take what I did and why I did it. What? You want to say hi? Oh, he's sleepy. He's not feeling good. But
he's like, man, no, I don't want to be seen right now. I got snot in my nose.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Pop.
That's by far my goal in this. You know, I would love to take the step up from like, let's say I got 1,000 fans, step up to, you know, like maybe 5,000 or 10,000 fans. You know, just because like my fan base right now is not like the biggest. But like I'm starting to get more in and I can notice that. And what I'm putting out is definitely a lot better than what it was. I'm going to say, especially a year ago today. During quarantine, I made that quarantine project. That's why I'm calling it, you know, the Spaz project.
Right.
And what I'm about to release is going to be, you know, 10 times, you know, better than what that is now.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Well, Brother TyRaNt, Brother Trevor, I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight, man.
Yeah, man.
This has been fantastic, man. I do appreciate you. Tell everybody where to find you, find your music, find everything. Give her.
Almost done. Almost done. Shit.
Almost done, little man. Give me a second. I'm gonna get your pops back to you, man.
Oh, he's great, bro. About to have a second one on the way too. So
congratulations.
Yeah,
man.
thanks, bro. So that's why I'm really pushing this music out, man. Pushing music out. So you can find me on Instagram at TyRaNt419. You can look that up. I'm on Facebook. Trev, what is it? I gotta think. I got so much.
That's when you know. I'm gonna put the Linktree link in the description anyway. But
yeah. No, biggest one. If you want to find me on Instagram, man. TyRaNt419. That's all you gotta do. I'm Ohio.
Yeah, listen, man. I want to thank you so much for joining me here on the Just to Be Frank podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy Trevor, aka TyRaNt. Give it up for him. You know what I'm saying? Go check him out. He's got some.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I got some stuff. My homies got some stuff. We're all dropping soon.
Tell Jet he gonna have to come up on this motherfucker. I want to talk to that guy.
Hey, he would love to, bro. Y'all would have some spiritual stuff, man. I'm telling you, Jet would love it. Or maybe do like a 3-way conversation.
Yo, tell him to hit my DM. Listen, this is season 4, man. I'm crazy. Trying to do some crazy shit, man. I'm just trying to keep it awesome. Because listen, man, my ultimate goal is to beat Joe Rogan.
Hey, see, that's your goal. My goal, we gotta set goals in life, and that's what I'm doing.
Set goals in life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's my dude. I love him to death. He inspired all this, but
that's good.
But yeah, man, definitely. TyRaNt, brother, thank you so much. Go be a dad for your brother TyRaNt. It's your boy Frank Starfire. Make sure you hit that motherfucking subscribe button, hit the like button, of course, the notifications, and as ever. One love, abracadabra. Peace.